The terror that has burnt indelible marks into the psyche of many Kenyans and others from around the world is still fresh here. It has affected everybody and has singed the borders of a reputation that Kenya has always had of being in a position of stability and safety. Kenya entered into unknown territory after December 27th, when a record 8 million Kenyans went to the polls. The announcement of the results and swearing in elected Mwai Kibaki for the next 5 years. The effects were devastating. The country erupted into a frenzy of looting, burning, raping, and murder. Tribes rose up, one against another, and some of Kenya's provinces became a sea of refugees and internally displaced people, a situation that Kenya always helped other nations with. In record time, the situation degenerated, and families tell a story that is hard to fall from their lips, such as this woman and her 6 grandchildren who lost their lifeline that used to sustain them.
Na hii shida yote sisi tuliamka saa 11 kwenda kwa kura. Yaani sasa ni hatia wa Kenya hatuwezi kupiga kura. Kwa sababu sasa tukipiga kura angalia vile maisha ile tunaishi ambayo haiwezi kutupendeza. Naona kwenda nyumbani nikifikiria sasa nikimbilie nyumbani risafu na hawa jukuu. Sina namna, hakuna transportation yoyote ambayo itanipeleka. Nitafanya vipi? Hapa nitaishi paka lini? Biashara yangu imeharibiwa, nitaanzia wapi?
Unfortunately, the situation at the internally displaced camps is not ideal, with an estimated 300,000 people, with overcrowding, insecurity, and the lack of basic amenities characterizing the situation on ground. In some cases, the outbreak of diseases such as smallpox as well as cholera due to congestion have made the situation worse. At the time that the unwelcome conflict greeted this nation, the church had been at the front lines, warding off this battle of hunger, homelessness, fear, and hopelessness. The church has taken on its role as a mother, caring for her children in a manner that few others can, as a concerned and active solution to this problem. Churches have responded as individual parishes, giving donations and volunteering, as well as aiding the Red Cross. They have also come together through the National Alliance of Churches to deal with 4 needs: political, humanitarian, spiritual, and communication. The alliance has officially come out to condemn the violence and push fervently for peace.
We, your church leaders, prayerfully and strongly appeal to Kenyans to stop forthwith the senseless and sporadic killings.
The alliance created committees that dealt with these 4 needs. Several pastors went to meet with the President Mwai Kibaki and opposition leader Raila Odinga to engage in dialogue and move their protesters to restore peace in the nation.
Siwe ndugu ama dada, watoto ama kina mama, tukae kwa amani.
Pastors and volunteers did more than talk. They have gotten down on the ground and worked hard to provide food, clothing, and shelter for the various needs across the country. In Nairobi, hundreds of displaced people have had to make Jamhuri Park their home, and the church has been here to welcome them, feed them, pray with them, and care in a way that nobody else did. Church compounds have turned into places of refuge, but not all of them were such. In Eldoret, the church where people hid was razed to the ground and life was lost while in an attempt to preserve it. And the sentiment that rose from there was a cry that came from deep within Kenya. The church has recognized that this is not only a physical problem, but has led the movement in getting people on their knees to fight this in the spiritual realm. The country has been top of the agenda for prayer in churches across the nation to resolve this conflict that is eating at the insides of a once stable country. Letting people know that the church has been directly involved in what is happening has been the job of the communication arm of the Church Alliance in the post-election conflict. As a mother has roles, too many to count, so has the church, and it has been spreading itself thick across the board to bring hope and peace, covering the major areas as well as the areas where many will not go. The church has now gone into fourth gear, creating a secretariat whose responsibilities will focus on 5 main factors: spiritual cleansing, attention to internally displaced people across the country, focus on the media, building of networks with all participating stakeholders, and a caravan of hope aptly named Msafara Wheels of Hope, which will travel with the message of peace, love and unity from Mombasa to Kisumu. As food is handed out, people are cared for, and voices join in prayer. The church carries with it a message of hope that God will move and turn things around, because those who put their hope in the Lord will never be put to shame. Join us in prayer and in kind as we represent Christ's hands and feet during these trying times in Kenya.